This might just be the most durable smartwatch that you can find on a budget. The ROGBID Mille Smartwatch. Hey guys, Andre here, and you're watching Tech Local. Like many of you guys, this is the first time that I've heard of this brand, ROGBID. But I have to hand it to them for moving away from the typical smartwatch design that we are used to seeing. The design of this watch is no way near the typical smartwatch design that we are used to seeing. If you're not a watch person, you probably won't recognize it, but by its name and design, I think this watch is inspired by the Swiss luxury brand called ROGBID Mille. And that's a pretty bold move coming from a new player in the smartwatch scene. And I think it looks okay. The body is made of hard plastic, while the frame is made of metal. We have the controls on one side, which consists of two buttons and a knob at the center. The top button is for the menu, while the bottom is a shortcut for sports modes, and the knob is a shortcut to change watch faces or scroll for the menu. On the other side is where the speaker and mic ports are for use with voice calls. This watch also comes with rubber straps with 12 adjustment holes, so it will probably fit most wrist sizes. Now, to comment on how this watch feels, I'll be honest, it's not on the level of polish of any of the current big brand smartwatches. Sure, it looks unique, but there are areas where it feels it's lacking when it comes to its overall quality. Like this metal frame which has star screw designs stamped on there. This would have looked so good if these were real screws instead of just stamped on designs. But to be fair, after finding out how much this costs, I bet you too might consider setting aside being too critical about this watch. The ROGBID Mille only costs around 2,000 pesos. The price seems to vary a bit at times, so I will leave links down below, but it should cost more or less around that price. And that's insanely affordable considering the amount of features that this smartwatch has. For its display, this is one of the aspects of this watch that sort of disappointed me at first. This is a 1.91-inch display with a 320 by 385 resolution, and as you can see, it doesn't look very sharp and you can actually see the pixels in the image. But if you've seen rugged smartwatches from other brands like Garmin, some are even using low-resolution monochrome displays. So that made me think, maybe we should be looking at this from that point of view. And if that's the case, I guess I can say that this screen is perfectly fine. It's not very bright, but I've never had any problems using this even outdoors. That does depend on the watch face that we are using, and for that, we have 10 pre-installed faces to choose from. It also isn't the most responsive display. The raise-to-wake gesture seems to lag a bit at times, but I'd say it's manageable. I do like how they made it seem like it has no bezels when they must have just hidden the bezels under this metal frame. Very clever. The biggest feature that this watch has is its durability. According to their website, this watch has a military MIL 810 rating for its durability and an IEP 69K rating for waterproofing. So this watch can really take quite a beating. ROGBID did demonstrate its durability on their YouTube channel, but I also did try to submerge this in water, and as you can see, it's perfectly fine. For the hardware, this has Bluetooth 5.3, a heart rate sensor, blood oxygen sensor, and even a blood pressure sensor. This did manage to get my heart rate, blood pressure, and blood oxygen read, but I am a bit skeptical about the results. In most smartwatches, you will get a failed reading if the watch isn't having a nice contact with your wrist. But on this one, even if you're just touching the sensor with your fingertip, it will still give you results. But I did compare the results with my other smartwatches and the results were pretty close. So I guess I can say I just wouldn't rely on this too much. We also tried doing voice calls on this and that was surprisingly clear. Plus, this can also act as an audio device for your phone to play anything that would be coming out from your phone. Moving on to software, so far, this has to be the most feature-packed smartwatch I have experienced at this price. Starting with my favorite software feature on this watch, this has support for Google Assistant. You can say your Google commands directly onto the watch, which is linked to Google on your phone. Meaning, you won't need to pick up your phone to set your timer, reminder, or ask questions. You can just say it directly onto the watch. A super handy feature which is only often found in high-end smartwatches like the Samsung Galaxy Watch 5 Pro. And for this to have that feature is pretty incredible. This software also features a number of built-in apps like calculator, music player, camera shutter control, plus there are also games, which I don't really think people would use, but it's there if you do find yourself wanting to play on your watch. Like most smartwatches, there are a lot of sports modes to choose from, but quite frankly, at its size, I wouldn't use this for any sports activity. But I think my most favorite feature of this watch has to be its battery life. The ROGBID Mille is rated to last 75 days on standby. I haven't verified if it does actually last that long since I've only been using this for 2 weeks, but during its time with me, I haven't had the need to charge this yet. That's super impressive considering that most smartwatches would only last you about a few days. So, would I recommend the ROGBID Mille? Well, that really depends on what you are looking for in a smartwatch. Of course, if you are looking for the most polished and nicely built watch, this really isn't going to be it. But seeing that this is only locally available for about 2,000 pesos, I really couldn't think of any other smartwatch that even comes close to the amount of features that this offers at that price point. So that being said, the ROGBID Mille is really worth looking into. Once again, this is Andre from TechLocal. Thank you guys for watching and I'll see you on the next video.